It's chat time with Chunk and Cucumber and your host, Dino.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chat Time. That was a much more clean introduction than we've had in a long time, guys. Thank you.
Shall we do it again?
Sure, let's do it again.
Morning. Better?
Much better. Much better. Thank you. Welcome to Chat Time. I'm your host, Dino, as always, and with me, of course, is Chunk and Cucumber.
Hi, I'm the cucumber one.
And I'm Chunk.
Yes. And as you can see, we have a special guest with us today, Steph. You would know her from the chat as Sharp Steph. She's the one that makes me do Optimus Prime all the time, which is great. But she's been watching for a while, and she is she does a lot of stuff. But I'll let her tell you about it. Steph, say hello to the people.
Hello. Yeah. So I think I've been watching this show for 3 years now. Maybe it's forever. Long time since that.
That's like the whole time we've been doing stuff. Nice.
It's an amazing show. So started out with the Firefly era of.
Oh man, the Trade Federation, and you stuck with us after that?
It was the first like Jar Jar Binks moment, and I was like, I love this show because Cucumber hates Jar Jar so much.
Aw, it was meant to be.
Well, excellent. Well, what do you do with your time? What do you like to do with your time, I should say?
So as some people know, I spend a lot of my time making D&D dice. Well, you can use it for other things than D&D, but that's typically what most people use them for. So I got into that about October of last year, and ever since then, I've just been making dice all the time. So that's why online streaming is really great because I can sit there and I can stand for hours and laugh at jokes and have a good time. I moonlight as an engineer during the day, so kind of get to turn my brain off and do something a little bit artistic at night.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Do you have can you count from memory how many sets of dice you've made? Do you keep track of that?
I couldn't tell you the exact number, but if you include failures, I'm definitely well into the triple digits at this point.
Dang.
Damn.
I always joke this is the thing with art hobbies is that for every success there's probably 10 failures sitting behind it, and so every time I post a dice there was probably 5 to 10 failures before I got there. So
that's fair. That's understandable. Cucumber, are you trying to see it?
But yeah, this is a D20 made by Steph, and the green screen ate it. The cucumber dice that she made. So they're beautiful. There's lots of cool sparkly foil inside. There's a little bit of gold, a little bit of blue, and it's dark green. It's super dope. But I'll put pictures in the Discord. I'll have
Yeah.
I got mine right here.
Please do.
Sure.
Chunk and Cucumber will post their pictures of the sets on the Discord so you all can see the wonderful work that Steph does. But good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, so how long have you been making dice?
If I did the math, it'll be a year in October. So
Triple digits after only a year? Jeez.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time making dice. I like to say it's my replacement for interacting with humanity is making dice, and so I'm in the triple digits for that. Doing much better than making friends, that's for sure.
And
Well, we're your friends.
Always.
Arlina wants to know, what do you do with your failures?
Normally I glare at them reproachfully and then chuck them into the trash. I do actually have a failure with me right now. Because I just talked.
there's kids somewhere starving for dice.
For dice, yeah, starving for resin that could kill them.
I have failure with me right here.
Oh, fuck you. Also, Steph's between us, so you're
I know.
a jerk right now.
I was over stuff. Over stuff.
Rude.
So for the most part, a failure is usually one that I can't recover it. Or it turned brown. Those are the two spectrums of problems. So this one, for instance, is a skull dice, and you can't really see it, but there's a giant hole in the top of that face. And so what I could do is I could use a UV resin, which cures in, I'm sure many people go to nail salons and get gel manicures. It's the same light. And I could do that, but then it kind of messes with the integrity of the dice. And so rather than sit there and try to make a bad thing better, I just make a better thing, you know, again and again and again. Sometimes the resin doesn't cure, and so it'll be really soft. That's toxic. It could kill people. So I try not to give that to people. But
I should probably throw some things away. Good to know. Good to know.
And so, yeah, if you could talk to any dice maker. And the fun thing about that community is you become friends with other dice makers because we all have gone through the same problems. So yeah, with the failures, I think some people sell their failures. I don't like to send bad work out into the world. And so I just, recycle what I can and then toss the rest.
I like that. That's cool. Do you have any that are like you would consider them maybe failures, but they're really not that bad, but you still wouldn't give them out?
Yeah, so that's where you get into the whole artistic ego thing, right? And I'm sure everybody here understands that, if it's not absolutely perfect, then it can't go out. And I think I love dice and I encourage dice for people because at some point you have to say, I've spent 6 hours on this set of dice and it's just as good, even though there's this little ding on it. So I actually might have one near me that has a ding in it. Oh no, I repaired this one's ding. Well, okay, so here's a good example. And again, this is my logic process. So this uses what we call the Petri method, and you can kind of see it where it'll do little streaks, and I have a ton of background going on. But part of that process is, and I also said I would reveal secrets on this chat that I would never reveal on the internet. So now's a good time to ask me how to make things, because otherwise I won't ever tell you.
How do you make things? Everything. From the beginning.
So for this one, what you do is, or what I do, everybody does it a little bit different, is you pour some clear resin into a mold. And I can show you a mold if you want. I have tons of them. And you let it sit for a while until it gets almost, super thick, can't move it around. Then what you do is you pour a bunch of drops of different colors, raw color, and I have a whole cart full, but we'll just pour some of this in there of alcohol ink. And then you let that sit and it kind of moves around, and you see people, do this where the colors are warping. And then what I do, which is the secret of the trick to making these, is after that's sat for a while, then I take more resin and pour it in. Now, where that becomes slightly problematic is you have a liquid like alcohol and resin and color, but it's kind of like a sandwich. And so sometimes the middle layer of that sandwich never cures. And so for this one, for example, there's a really weird warp spot where that sandwich happened right here. And normally it's not soft or anything. It's just kind of warped. And normally I'd be like, oh, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect mirror finish face and I hate it. And I kind of had to get over it because that dice looks beautiful. So there's a lot of them that I would say you would look in the reject pile and be like, I can't believe she threw these away, because there's literally one little spot on it. And I try to get better about that. But any artist knows it's really hard to accept any kind of failure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you sell the dice, or do you only give them out as gifts?
So I do sell them. I've only done 2 sales. Surprisingly, I primarily like to make dice for people I really like.
Yeah.
And so the first dice that I experimented with and conceived were for Cucumber, Chunk, Ryan, and Brian. And
those are your first set?
Those were the first attempts that I made were actually, and there's some really old pictures out there of these dice. I used to keep them. I don't have them anymore. Was one for Willow and one for Cucumber, and they looked absolutely terrible if you compare them now. But I was like, I really like these guys, and I really want to make dice for them. 100% truth, not even because I'm talking to you right now. And so that's why I also kind of look at those dice and I'm like, oh, I can make them better now and try over and over again. So I would say the majority of the dice I've made are actually gift dice. And then I've done 2 sales because I ultimately, in the process of making new dice, I just, behind me are in that cabinet is 23 unfinished sets with no owners, essentially. So eventually I will finish them and put them up on my site and sell them, but it does take time.
You're like Ollivander for dice.
Yeah, everybody's got a perfect fit. That's great. I love that.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I would say probably 75% of my time is making dice that I don't make any money off of, which is why when people are like, hey, let me pay you, I'm like, oh, donate it to charity, because honestly, it's really awkward taking money from friends, and so I don't do that.
I don't
That's
know.
awesome, though.
Our cat is the light of my life right now.
She is hiding behind the green screen right here,
Oh.
and she's
I hope
popping
she
at me.
busts through it again like she did before. Just like the Kool-Aid
Oh
cat.
my gosh, it's so cute.
Meow. Yeah.
Okay. What was I gonna say? I know. Come over here then, where I can actually keep you up here.
So the ink on its own will like push itself into like the uncured resin, or like the second layer is what kind of like mushes the little mushroomy shape.
So it depends. Part of the process is normally you use a white ink, and so white ink in most cases is much, I guess you say viscous, much thicker. And so, for instance, there's this stuff which is called ink sinker, literally called ink sinker, and its job is to sink ink into resin. I'm sorry, my voice is going out. And so actually, I wish I have literally this just cart full of colors and things, because I over time will be like, oh, I'll just get this one thing, and now I have actually I could probably show you that guy.
Whoa, holy shit. No biggie, just an army of ink.
And I'm telling you, there are ones that have never been opened, and I feel kind of bad about that, but I will use them. And so what you do is you pour the color in, and then you do the white, because that'll start to make it sink, and that gives it its kind of pastel, so here's another one that gives it kind of its pastel look. And then the reason I do the second layer of resin is because that also makes it sink in further. So I do kind of both, but you can do either one.
Yeah.
Also, mad props on your D4s. They're the best. They're such a cool shape.
Oh, what?
Thank you. So I have, actually these are my new ones. So I really like making master dice. I'm fortunate enough to have a very fancy printer for printing things in resin. And so that's why when you see my dice, there'll be things like flowers inside of them, or skulls is one that I've done recently. I've put a lion in one. I'm going to be putting a satellite in one for a friend's group.
That's awesome.
Yes.
It's very random, but it is what it is. I can put a chunk or a cucumber in one if we wanted to.
I mean, hell yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have this big guy, the chunker, that I really want to put something in. So, but yeah, so
We
my
might
fours-
already have 3D versions of ourselves somewhere. We gotta hit up an old friend and see what the status on that is. You might just be able to print that.
That would be amazing. So, because that's a lot easier for me. But yeah, to Cucumber's point, I have these what we call the crystal D4s, and so if anybody's played D&D, and my dice wife will have to forgive me, so she uses the typical pyramids. And these are one of her dice. This is Arcane Hollows. She makes the most beautiful dice ever, and I love her. But yeah, if you step
Video
on
is
those,
frozen,
they
but
will
we'll take your word.
suck. So it's yeah. Oh no.
You're slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, your little,
I'm back.
a little choppy.
Yeah, I have the stream open on the right, and I will close it there, so that should help. I'm also in a dungeon surrounded by concrete, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh,
But anyway, yeah,
yikes.
so you'll have the typical pyramid D4s, or called the caltrops by some people. You step on these, they hurt. The crystal D4s roll a little bit better. It's a little less uncertain. There's also people that do clip corners. You can literally Google D4s and find 30 bazillion different variations. Yeah, I think the day of the... Oh, sorry.
No,
I
you're
think the day
good.
of the pyramid is gone.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't like them. I also hate it because I have a box that I keep all it's like tiered, and I love it, that I keep all my dice in, and the D4s hide because they fall flat, and then all the other dice around them, and all I see is the point, and it's so hard to find that in the damn box, and I'm just digging around for D4s all the time, and I hate it. So I think I need to get some more of those, the crystal size.
Oh, let's just send you some. I have so
Yeah,
many.
that'd be great.
I guess you do just D4s if you want. I have
Just D4s.
I have like 20 Petri D4s that don't have families. Essentially, they're just sitting in the. Okay,
That's awesome.
we'll clean them up. Sit them off. I've been
be
trying to figure
awesome.
out what to do with them because I'm like, don't have any other dice to put with them.
Hardliner says
Hardliner
maybe
just
sort
says
your dice.
maybe sort your yeah.
I did. Okay, look here. They're sorted. The D20s are on the top. The D6s and the D4s and the D8s are here, and then the D10s and D12s are on the bottom. They're sorted. They're just
You need more layers to that thing, man.
yeah. Let me just there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one that can hold like 120 sets. So
Yeah, I don't have.
So
this
there,
much.
in your
Upgrade.
face.
Listen, my desk is like 4 feet wide.
A Dopable Jess just wants to know if you use a pressure pot to reduce bubbles.
I do.
Right.
Yeah, I have two actually. So I, again, and sharing trade secrets that I've never shared on the internet. When I started out, I live in an apartment, so I don't have a garage. I can't put an industrial pressure pot or compressor in here. So I found out through research that there are such things as dental pressure pots, which they use for curing, crowns and dentures. And there was one where you could do an air hose attachment for a airbrush compressor. And so I used to do cosplay, so obviously I had air compressors for that. So I bought one on eBay, and it's about, yay big. It's actually sitting over there right now, attached up, and I still use it because it's a lot quieter. And that will fit 6 sets in it, and it works great. I also have a big one that I was using for a while, but honestly, I don't really need it, and it's super loud. Again, living in an apartment, you have to be conscious of other people around you. So yeah, I definitely use a pressure pot. I would say most people, when they start to get serious about dice, end up buying a pressure pot because otherwise they just, bubble. I mean, Danny knows, Cucumber's manager, about like bubbles are a real problem, and so it's just easier.
They're evil.
Yeah, they are evil.
Hardliner had a bunch of questions in Discord, and we actually already covered some of them. So he asked about if you could put things inside the dice, like 3D. He said specifically tiny 3D printed dicks and gold flakes.
Someone has done that. I forget who it was. Another dice maker has done that, and they did the whole like explicit content warning on Twitter before posting it. And of course, I clickbaited. Was like, oh, what's this? What could it possibly be? This is such a wholesome dice maker. Turns out not.
Oh, my stars.
I was like, oh, I've got the vapors. So yeah, if somebody has done it, I will not. I do have certain things that I will not put in dice. That might be one of them, but
But you can put things in the dice as well.
oh, you can put anything in dice, literally anything. There's a whole roll in that box that has things that I've printed and turned into molds.
That's awesome.
My lotus flower dice that I did recently, those are resin printed and then cast. And I don't have any of them next to me right now, so I couldn't show you. But
Ryan said he just refitted a Harbor Freight paint pot to a pressure chamber for clear casting.
yeah, so that's honestly before. There's now a California Air Tools pot on Amazon that's already retrofitted for it, but it used to be before that. That's what people would use. They'd get Harbor Freight, they'd alter it, hopefully not explode and kill themselves. I'm sure Ryan's
So
going to
Ryan will be doing that at
experience.
home, is what we're saying. That's not coming to the studio, right?
Yikes! I didn't know that was an option. Let's see some more things. So you obviously use resin and ink. What other materials do you use to make dice? Hardliner was asking.
Yeah. So here's another trade secret. So again, I don't know. So I have done a lot of research and everything's next to me, which is so I can actually show you. But a couple things that I do is recently I got into glow in the dark pigment, so mica powder. Mica powder is the same stuff that they use to make eyeshadow. So you can actually put eyeshadow in resin. But there is Stuart Simple who does glow in the dark powders. And if I let this sit in the sun long enough, it'll actually just start to glow on its own. They're really strong. So some of my dice now glow. Another thing I put in dice, and a thing that you'll see a lot, is this kind of opal reflective material. And I think that's the most elusive material for dice makers to figure out how to get. I'm here to tell you, Michael sells it as wrapping paper. And so, and it looks like this.
Oh,
and so what makes Chunk's dice
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Reflect is this exact material that I'm holding in my hands right now, and it is a wrapping paper that you can get at Michael's. And you just kind of.
I have a question. when you're like inserting something like the wrapping paper or any of those objects, how do you like guarantee, or is there no guarantee that it won't like just fucking poke out the side?
Yeah, so there's a couple of techniques you can do for that. One, you want to make sure that you're not putting too much in there. That will affect the cure on the dice, and they may not cure. It also kind of affect on the wrapping paper won't affect balance, but other things will. There is a way to affect balance. So what I like to do is when I take my mold, I put a little bit of resin in there and I coat the outside of it. And then I put the item in there. So I always want to have resin in first, and that way it'll kind of sit around the item, give it a nice layer, and so the chances of it poking through are just less overall. Can't always guarantee it won't happen, but you can, just by coating it, you can increase the chances of it work. What else can I put in dice?
What's the wrapping paper? Do you just like cut up little tiny pieces, or do you just make a little ball?
Yeah. So, I can actually show. So literally, what I'll do is, where's my molds? Oh, I can do this without choking myself.
Also, that's like the most satisfying sound in the world.
It's yeah, and I bought these back in January, so that's how long I've had this wrapping paper, and it was $5. So it'll last forever.
Yeah.
I use some more complicated ones as well that have different colors, but this stuff is good for people to get started. So I'll have my mold, and I use something called a squish mold. So it has a little cap, and I squish it on top. The reason I use this is it's a lot easier to get stuff inside. People use something else called a sprue, which means there's a tiny little hole. The nice thing about that is you only have to do one mold making process. But for me, I use two different types of silicone. The bottom one takes 12 hours to cure. The top one takes 30 minutes. So it's pretty quick. And then what I'll do is I'll just, I need to use scissors. I'll rip it off. I'll do one of these numbers, make sure it looks pretty, and we'll assume there's resin in here, and then you just kind of stuff it inside.
Oh.
And then massage it a little bit, and then boom. And then what you want to do in order for it to show off is to not use a lot of pigment. So I think that's another mistake a lot of dice makers make, is they go pretty heavy-handed to get a color as opposed to a lot lighter. Yeah. So, and it's part of the learning process, right? So you'll use a mica powder, like say maybe this guy, and you'll just like pour it in there. You really don't need to. Some of the best stuff looks really good with very little. And so if that's any advice I can give you on making sure you have really good looking inclusions, is to, go do a little bit at a time.
Okay. That's cool. So Cucumber's like eating up all these notes here. What was I going to say? Let's see. We had some of those. Oh, how long does it take you to make a set of dice?
Oh, that's a great question. So I would say when I go to pour dice, it's probably an hour-long process. One, because cat is so cute. One, because a real trick to getting a good pour on dice is to warm up your resin. So I have a little like desk heater, and I stick the bottle of resin in front of it and get it nice and warm. I do live in the frigid north, so it's extra important that my resin be warm. Otherwise, you'll find that it won't cure, or you'll have soft spots. And so from the whole process of getting the inclusions in, mixing everything, that takes about an hour. Then it's another 12 hours for my resin to cure. I use a fast cure resin most of the time. I like instant results. Waiting is great, but 12 hours is good. Then from there, you want to wait at least 48 to 72 hours at a minimum for that resin to fully cure. And so you don't want to start sanding it or anything. And then after that, it's an hour to an hour and a half for me to get through the process of sanding, polishing, and inking it, and then getting all the ink off the surfaces. So it's actual work, probably about 4 hours, but in terms of duration, it can take a week to get a set of dice from start to finish.
And for sanding, it's usually like a wet sanding, right? On like various like grits getting finer and finer.
Yeah, so I think this is not a trade secret necessarily, but so what I do is I clean off some bigger aberrations with 1,000 grit sandpaper, and I wet sand that. And I try to be light about it because it will scratch the surface, so you want to avoid scratches. And then most dice makers use what we call Zona papers, and so you can get these online. They look like this, and they come in 6 different grits. and the yellow one being actually is a tougher grit than 1,000. So I end up kind of redoing the process twice, but trust me, it makes a difference. And so you'll sit here with water or a polishing compound, and you just do each face, and you go from, I would say, 50 rotations down to 20 across each one, and so it can become an expensive hobby because you start to get all these kind of resources, but that's definitely the trick, and you can find tutorials online about how to get the best finish on dice.
Okay. Wow, it's so complicated.
It's a lot. It's very fun because you try out new things, and so sometimes stuff works, sometimes stuff doesn't, and every attempt is a success, as a friend of mine likes to say.
Oh, yay. So then stop calling them failures, huh? I'm just kidding.
No, they are failures. To the trash.
You just learn from them.
To learn from everything. Zelda is got the zoomies right now, so I apologize if at some random point she just jumps on the desk. But she's been running all over the apartment. So we answered the equipment. Okay. This is an interesting question. I wonder if you can answer this. If you have an answer for this. Outside of Perception Studio, Hardliner asks, who is your most famous client, quote unquote client, that has bought your dice or received your dice?
I can't answer that actually, but
Okay.
Secret.
So huge star.
No,
God,
not that crazy. It's more I just like to, people. Some people haven't gotten their dice yet, and so.
Oh.
But it's honestly, I'm pretty not. What's the word I'm trying to look for? I do not market myself. This is fun for me, and so when anybody that I respect, or like when the Perception team got my dice and they loved them, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, so when anybody that I really respect or love watching their stuff is like, hey, can I get some dice from you? I think I die a little on the inside. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool.
We're killing her. Stop it.
So yeah, I don't create with the intention of attracting that kind of attention. But some cool people have asked me for dice, and I'm just like, oh, this is great.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love that. It's really cool when you can, people that you respect and you like respect your work as well, whatever it is. That's awesome. I like that a lot. I think, let's see, what else do we have as far as dice questions?
Deadly Nightshade was asking if there's a gallery of all the different kinds of dice you've done.
Yeah, sort of. So I probably post less dice than I actually make, but I have posted a bunch on my website, which is my handle, because that's easy. Sharp Dice was taken as a domain name. And so there's a bunch of dice that I have worked on in the past. There's another TTRPG stream that I watched that I made a whole set for all of their characters. And those are like that. The Perception sets are some of my favorite color combinations I've ever worked on, and those are all up on the site to look at.
Yes. I don't know what this question means, but Corey's asking any Black 3.0 dice. What is that?
Yeah, Black 3.0 is a Stuart Simple color. So,
is that like the uber, super duper uber?
Super black.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. No, that's such a niche nerd paint thing.
But also like the
and that's
whole,
the good one, right? Not the evil one. That's the good artist that we want to.
That's a good artist. Yes.
Okay.
Stuart Simple's an amazing artist. Does great pigments and is somebody that you would, if you're into that, you should support. The problem with Black 3.0 is Black 3.0 is a paint, and you don't necessarily want to be putting paint or painting dice. So I actually have the black pigment, which is close. It has shown up in a couple of dice, but again, as I mentioned, so this is Black 1.0. He doesn't make the Black 3.0 pigment. But as I had mentioned, a little goes a long way, and this stuff, if you just sneeze it into the dice, will turn it pitch black. So I'm still figuring out how to kind of work with this color and make it look good. I wish a 3.0 came in pigment, because I would use it in a heartbeat. But his glow pigments are fantastic. I also have some of his neon pigments, which I haven't used yet. I love neons.
If was it Pinkest Pink, or it has a different actual name? I think. Yeah.
No, it's Pinkest Pink.
It is Pinkest Pink. Yay!
100%.
I love his like sticking it to the other guy more than anything in the world. He's so petty. And it's the best.
Black is black, pink is pink. Yeah.
I love it. Do you ever use? This is a question for me. Have you ever thought about because I know there's dice that are made out of stone and metal and stuff. Have you ever thought about using something other than resin eventually and trying to branch into that?
It would require me to have a house. So
That's fair.
I would actually love to do. Sometimes you'll see jewelry where it's part wood and part resin. I would love to make dice that look like that, but
That's
that requires tools I don't have. And my partner is already patient enough with the resin and it being everywhere. I don't think he'd be as patient with power tools.
That's fair.
Yeah, I have that reverse classic problem where the woman's like, oh, you keep buying all these tools. Yeah, see, my significant other is very much like, do you need another pressure pot? And I'm like, but I do.
You don't understand.
I definitely didn't, but I got it anyways. I'd love to do stuff like that.
That's so cool. Yeah, I have one set of metal dice that I bought on Wish for like $7. And they're fine, except the D4 is really a caltrop. Like it's a metal pointy thing that I've hurt my hand on a couple times, and I hate it.
They're brutal. I recently did some new masters and made mine even more brutal because that's how I am. And so yeah, they're super pointy, and I'm just like I can't wait.
Yeah, mine is very sharp. I like it.
I like it.
Beer Batman has a question. What has been your favorite Perception Studio character drop? Has nothing to do with that.
Oh my gosh. See, this is like making me have to recall years of memories. I did enjoy the first drop of the masseuses. I think that was a hilarious sequence of events, especially when the roll for hotness didn't turn out very well. There was a character. Oh, my memory is just terrible. There was definitely a character in the early days of me watching. I'm like, Jar Jar is always the best one, but because he just dies. I think a Jar Jar would probably be my favorite consistent character drop, just because it creates such chaos. But I should start writing them all down, because there's like some nights that I just can't breathe. I'm laughing so hard because of how everybody handles it.
Oh yay! Yeah, we don't remember anything either.
It's like a blur, like a really bad bender, and you wake up the next morning and be like, what just happened to me?
You said masseuse.
Sometimes literally a bad bender. It's been a while since one of those, but yeah.
That's always entertaining. Let's see. I think we have that's all the dice questions from the Discord.
Oh, I have one.
Yeah.
All right. So with all the current things that you're playing around with, what is the next challenge that you want to give yourself in your dice?
I can. So I posted a teaser yesterday on Twitter of some dice I've been working on, which I don't have any of the progress ones, but I can talk about them. So for me, I'm trying to get more complex kind of landscapes inside of the dice. And so I'm working on a Lon Ranch dice from Zelda. And there's a tiny little bitty bottle of milk inside of it. And so there's
milk.
Yeah, so so like I have to sit there and paint the glass to get the icon on, and so it'll have like a grass base, and it has the little milk bottle, and then I'm doing the cloud effect. So you can make clouds in dice using ivory soap. You microwave the soap and it becomes fluffy, and then you scrape it off and put it in dice.
Oh.
I'm telling you guys, you just spend hours on YouTube, you will find the greatest things. That's
so cool.
There's other ways to do it, but that's the way that I found was the easiest for me. However, I'm allergic to ivory soap, so
Oh no.
it's an experience. Don't eat it. Yeah, exactly.
Are you able to do a different soap? Or is it just ivory soap? Is it just like some proprietary magic in ivory?
I don't know what it is. It's ivory and Dove soap. I can't use either of them. I get rashes, but I wear gloves. That's one thing. Always wear gloves. Always wear your PPE, even in a pandemic if you can. And so with that, it's not as big of a problem. But yeah, I'm working on making these like kind of more complex scapes. They take longer. They have a higher risk of failure, but if you pull them off, they look great.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Turf. The
Ewok one.
Exactly. Would you suggest? What would you suggest for someone to start out in the hobby?
Yeah, so I get asked this question a lot, so I feel like I have a prepared answer, unlike most questions. So I would always recommend buying a kind of throwaway molds that you can get on Amazon. If you really want to go a little bit better quality and closer to what you'll actually end up working with, there's a maker called Werpy, Werpy, and they sell dice molds, and they have been selling dice molds on Etsy since I started. So my first D20 mold was the Werpy mold, and I would say get started with that. And they have squish molds and sprue molds, like I talked about. Get a little sampler of resin, get a little alcohol ink, and get a little mica powder, and just kind of start with that. Don't worry about doing inclusions, just worried about getting your consistency correct. The resin that I use, which is my kind of my trade secret to success, is by Resin Obsession.
Okay.
It makes a harder, tougher resin that cures faster, so you can have failures quicker, and kind of get to work with that. So I would say, buy a mold. That's I think Werpy sells them for like $25, which in the grand scheme of things is actually much cheaper than if you were to make them yourselves. Experiment with that for a while, get some basic materials, basic colors, and get to where you're not getting, you can actually pour and not get bubbles, but it does require patience, something I do not have.
Also do not have
exactly. It's possible to have bubble-free dice without using a pressure pot, and just kind of like play around and experiment. And one thing that I think that we don't say enough to new dice makers is it's okay to crawl a little while before you start running. I see a lot of dice makers, they start making dice, and then 2 weeks later they're buying dice masters, which are quite expensive, and starting on that. And it's like, there's no reason to run that fast. Like, just take your time. Don't be like me. I happen to have a printer where I can make dice masters, and I was like, oh, I don't need this somebody else's mold. I can do this now. But yeah, take your time. Get the bare minimum. Resin Obsession does a 16-ounce kit that's really small, and I think it's $25. So you can get started for about $60. With good quality materials to get started with. There's cheaper molds that you can get on Wish or other places, but you're going to get tired of those because they've been stolen from other makers and using copyrighted content. So I would just start small, have fun, and then fail often.
Yeah. And then sorry, as far as pigment, where would you get started for that?
So I'm fortunate that I have a shop called Blick Art Materials here in Seattle, and they have a ton of different alcohol inks. However, Etsy is a great spot. So the ink that I love to work with the most, and Blick sells these, is called Marabou. And they look like this. They have a very unique bottle. They're a much thinner pigment, so you won't get as much saturation, which means you can play around with, light and dark. And I think they run about like $3 to $4 a bottle. And so I would start with just an alcohol ink. Some people start with resin pigment. It's very difficult to work with. And so this all probably sounds mystifying, but so this is resin tent. This stuff is really thick, and it will turn it opaque instantly. So I wouldn't start with that. I would definitely start with an alcohol ink. You can also do jacquard. It's a type of clothing, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't get this one. This is black, but then it's actually green. I would say another pro tip, avoid purples when you get started. Purples like to turn brown. Purples like to turn pink. Purples like to turn any color that's not purple. Avoid purples.
Okay.
So...
that's good to know. Avoid purple. Just found a set of dice on the Metaverse site that's $147. It's called a Carnival Aluminum. $147 for a set of dice. I mean, if they're handmade and like specialty, then yeah, I guess that makes sense. $150 for a set. Yeah.
So handmade dice range from $30 to $200 is the highest I've seen. Mine are in the lower range, so mine are in like the 70 range, because at some point I do have to pay for the materials I'm using. But I've seen, you'll see Yanir, who's been around for a while and makes very high quality dice, and I actually finally got a set of hers. We're supposed to show our favorite dice. So these are one of my favorite sets. These are by Yanir.
Hey, there's purple.
Yeah. Well, it's pink actually. So again, it's it makes purple because there's a pink and blue in there. So if you want to do purple, mix pink and blue. Do not mix dark purple. And so her dice range in a higher range because she's been at it longer and she's improved her process over time. So they're about $140. There's another maker whose name I can't remember. It has $180 to $200 dice. And that's just, this person has been making dice for 3+ years. And so you are paying for skill and you are paying for materials and quality.
That's awesome.
These are the kind of people that, you know, where I'm like, oh, there's a ding in it, but okay, maybe I'll give it away. They're like, no dings, no nothing. These are perfect dice. So
Whoa.
I would say dice are luxury. And if 150 is too much, then those dice aren't for you. But they are worth $150 for sure.
Yeah, you could buy sets of dice. My first sets of dice was like a bag of 6 sets on Amazon for $15 or something like that.
Right.
So if you need dice are easy to find, but if you want like fancy dice, you got to pay for that. That's an art, you know?
Yeah.
That's like going up to a painter, like a famous painter, and saying like, "Hey, can I get one for like 20?"
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's the,
Which people do all the time.
it's the same mood.
Pay your
It's the-
artists.
Yeah, pay your artists. It's the same mood. I think, you know, for me, I keep mine a little bit lower because one, I just don't like dealing with calculations, and two, it's a little bit more, you know, I'm just not quite there yet. I have a higher standard for my work, and so, you know, I'm like, these are not perfect, so I can't charge that much. But yeah, I think 100 is about the median for most dice, and also to, you know, for the ones where I put 3D printed inclusions in them, the resin I use to make those is not cheap. So those dice are more expensive because I'm like, I don't even want to talk about how much that resin costs. But so yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Since you already brought out your favorite set of dice, Corey asked if we would describe our favorite set of dice or show them. So we saw Steph's. Cucumber kind of showed off his cucumber die, but it was, you know,
Green screen ate it, but
Yeah,
it's
green screen.
beautiful.
it is beautiful. And then Chunk showed it.
Let's narrate through the experience, shall we?
Yeah, describe it, Cucumber. ASMR style.
So it's the darker green is more apparent on the outside. There's a bit of like a reddish purplish like sparkle in there, like some powder, I think. And then there's the crinkly bit inside. And then this one, the one I'm looking at, has the Sharp Steph logo on it, a cool dagger. And then the other one has our Perception Studio D20. And crinkle. It's so pretty. And and it looks super different because like I'm inside right now, so I've got like a white light on it. But if you take it outside in the sun, it looks like there's a fire in the middle of it. It looks like a palantir, like a green palantir.
That's awesome.
It's super dope.
What about you, Chunk? Describe your die, because we could barely see it too.
Yeah. Well, mine. Hold on. There you go.
Also
Mine's
look
like
at that
it's like a blue, but then it shifts from like dark blue to like a little lighter blue, which is kind of cool because like there's like different shades of the blue, and then there's like the little crinkly, the little paper stuff. It like sometimes shines like a slightly greenish back. That's kind of cool. It looks like little stones inside of it. It's really nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Ryan, do you have a set of dice with you that you would like to share?
Yeah, I have my Sharp Steph dice as well.
Yeah.
My camera's even smaller than everyone else's. So. But mine are a smoky green with some purple sparkles in the side, and there is some of the same kind of crinkle paper that Chunk is talking about is in there, and it looks gorgeous. And it also, on a couple of the other ones, have some gold metal flake that kind of pops here and there, and it is really cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll post pictures of these dice in the Discord so y'all can see it.
I also have this. I have this giant ass Perception Studio dice.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's huge and it's made out of metal, so I never use it because it's like 3 pounds. So I'm afraid to break things when I use it.
Just
I
dent the
dropped my
tables. I don't have a Sharp Steph set of dice, unfortunately, because we've only met recently on Twitch. But I do have one D20 from actually my friend who also makes dice, or used to actually. Her partner took over, but they made a Strahd set for Curse of Strahd, and I'm in Curse of Strahd in one of my campaigns, so I had to buy it. But it's like, I don't know, it's hard to see, but it's purple
Oh,
and
that's
it's got
great.
like gold flakes in it that are more reddish. And then that's their logo.
Oh,
Copper?
I know this. She's really good.
Yeah, my friend was her partner, and then she kind of like stepped away, so it's just the person I don't know now, the bard, as it were, that she calls herself. But yeah, so I bought this D20 for my Strahd campaign, and I used it the first time I was able to use it in the campaign. I rolled like 4 natural ones, and it made me really upset. But I've been using it since, and it's fine. But just that first night was really hard.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
They do. That's why I have 9 sitting up here for me to switch off regularly whenever I need to.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
sorry. I was
No,
gonna say
you're
that's Copper dice, Copper KH
KH.
umlaut OPPER dice.
Yeah, it's a mixture of their names. So it's KHOPPER. With the umlaut over the O. They're on Instagram. If you look them up, they're there. But they've been making. Actually, they made a personalized set for Mika Burton.
Yes.
Which is really cool. They which I just found out who her dad is. I had no idea. That like recently found out, and it blew my mind. Yeah, I guess like she had bought them randomly, and then they like reposted it, and then her mom reached out to them and saying like, "Hey, I want to give a gift to my daughter for her birthday. Can you make some dice for her?" And it was like such like a random thing that just happened for them. That was really cool. I don't know how much they want to share that, but they posted it on Instagram, so I'm sure it's not a secret.
I saw the whole story about that, or about the gift giving.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Oh, sorry. They do excellent dice, so I would definitely recommend giving them a follow on both. I think they're also on Twitter, but Instagram for sure.
Definitely Instagram. I'm sure they're on Twitter. I don't have Twitter, so I don't know. But yeah, dice. I mean, support the dice making community because they do a lot of. You guys do a lot of great work. All of them out there, they're fantastic. Find the ones you like. If you don't like them, that's fine. Just don't follow them. But support artists wherever you can, even when especially when it's dice making. In these times where D&D seems to be thriving in our quarantine lives. And everybody's looking to buy dice, so it's great.
And pro tip: don't ask if they're balanced.
Yeah. So why is that a thing? Why is that a problem?
It's so funny. It's such a hill that the dice makers are going to die on, I guess. So most people see dice and they think the first question you ask is people will be like, "Oh, there's something inside of it. Is it going to roll evenly?" A few things about that. One, this is not gambling. This is D&D. Have fun. Really refer back to number 1. And 2, it's kind of like walking up to an artist in a painting and being like, "Oh, those strokes are really thick. Do you think they're going to fall off over time?" So by going up and saying that in the way that most people like to say it, you're kind of essentially saying like, "I assume you have done zero research on this topic and know nothing about dice balance, and I'm going to challenge you on that." So if you ever ask me, I'll give you a really snarky response. So it's
as you should.
It's definitely you'll see a lot of posts where people are like, just stop asking. Or the other fun one is we like to show pictures of dice freshly pulled out of the molds. And so sometimes what's inside the dice means the numbers are not as clearly visible. And a fun thing people like to say is, "Oh, they look great. It would be nice if I could see the numbers." And it's like they're not finished. And so yeah, it's just that old internet adage of either just stop at "they're nice, I like them," and you don't have to tack on the rest. So yeah, I would say if you want to make friends with the dice maker, don't use those 2 phrases at all.
Got it. That's people that like get really. I mean, D&D in general. Anybody that's like really like strict on like everything's got to be perfect and by the book and everything. Like that's not what D&D is about. It's about being fluid and having fun with friends and stuff.
Yeah. If you're really into
Get on Ryan, that's fine.
Actually, I think I saw Hardliner was like make some roll for hotness dice. D10s. I could do that and just replace the numbers with hot, sort of hot, not hot, zero hot.
Oh my god.
That would be so cool.
Like the 1 is a not and the 10 is a hot.
One is a not, 10 is a hot, and everything is like hot +1 and hot -1.
I love it. Oh man. That's so yeah. Have you ever made any like very unique dice? Like can you think of any set that you made that was like you've never made anything like it before? Like it's super unique.
That's a good
Anything that
question.
stands out?
I did accidentally make some jellyfish dice once. They're
Accidentally?
unfinished. Accidentally, yes. No, I was doing the Petri method, and I had to walk away to go deal with an emergency, and I came back and finished them. And then the next day, they were like these neon little like donuts inside the dice, and I've never been able to recreate them, but they were super cool. I think other than that, I would say the dice I make are not necessarily unique. They just happen. I've attempted a technique probably a month before somebody else has, and so I get to pretend that they're unique for about a month, and then somebody else figures it out. So,
That's still cool though.
you know, I like to think all my dice are special, but you know,
Yeah. Aww. Awesome. I love it. I've always thought about like getting into, because I love the dice I have, and I was like, I wonder if I could like make my own. And the more I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I have enough money to just spend right now. So
it's a big money sink to start, especially when you want to get into higher quality dice because of the pressure pots, the PPE, and everything. Now I think my incremental costs are very low. It's just that, you know, resin does cost money, and resin is not cheap. So I would say most people get into it because either they bought some dice from a seller and then were disappointed, which is most of us that got into it last year, and then, or they're just like, I could make these. It's like, okay, cool, do it. I would recommend everybody do it. It's very therapeutic.
that's
I have
awesome.
a
One day I would
question.
like to start. I know Ryan started making his.
Well, I have a bunch of tools just because like I'm in the sculpture world, so I have things already. But I have a question of, do you have a preference to what type of resin company you go with? Because like for LA, we do a lot of Smooth On here.
Yeah, I would say Smooth On's pretty much national standard. So I make all of my, this is Clearcast and Moldstar. And so I think it also, I've said this to some people, it depends on availability. I don't have a car. So Smooth On will ship me next day from the place they have up here. And so I don't order next day. It just happens to be only about an hour away from me, but I can't get there because I don't have a car, and gallons of resin are very heavy, or silicone. And so I think resin wise, I don't use Smooth On because most of their resins are professional grade and so highly toxic. And so I don't have ventilation or rooms. So I tend to go with the art resins. So I started out with, I think I have some with me actually. So art resin's a really good one, and it has a 24-hour cure time. And then, as I mentioned, I got into that is unfortunate. This is really dirty because I reused the bottles, but this is Resin Obsession, and this is the one. So the art resin is a 1-for-1, part A and part B. This is a 1-for-2, or however you like to look at it. And so this resin will be a lot more liquidy, which means when I want to do swirls and fun techniques, it's a little bit easier with this. It's more expensive by a lot, but it cures faster. I can do the Petri technique with this pretty easily. And they're kind of like a smaller business, so I like to support them. But yeah, I kind of avoid the Smooth On resins because most of them are, you should have like a ventilator and 6 open windows and, you know, a hazmat suit.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, that girl at that place. Have a good day.
Hi.
For those who want to know how dangerous like the really industrial resins can be, I had a sculpture professor. His name was Jedediah. And
He poured resin once. He's dead now.
no,
that was real, Cucumber.
So most of his projects was like inclusion-based found art, and he used it so much that every time he would pour, he would like his face would just go red because the material was absorbing into his skin. And the doctor that he had is like, you can't cast resin anymore, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I was close.
We're close.
Almost dead. Almost dead.
So yeah,
Almost dead.
Yeah,
there's
I-
dangers, and pay attention to your material safety data sheets.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's why going to like the art store resins is a little bit better because those are naturally designed to be used in an art class that is going to be sealed in. So yeah, I would say if you get really, really, I think the people that mostly use the smooth on resins are ones that like to do like props. Dice are not props. Also, you have to keep in mind that at some point you're going to have to sand that, which means there's particles in the air, which means you're now inhaling, potentially, if you're not wearing a respirator, inhaling those resin particles. Yeah, it could kill you. This is a hobby that's high risk.
Yeah. Oh man, that's scary. So
I'm just kidding. I'm being
God, there was a question. Adorable Jess keeps saying she wants to make spooky dice. Have you made spooky dice before?
spooky dice, like
like Halloween themed or themed.
I have put skulls in dice.
Nice.
That's, I guess, a signature of mine now. I think I have one next to me, just like a Mary Poppins of random dice things. So this guy is a tiny skull, which you can't see because it's.
Oh, there it is.
I live in the darkest place on earth. So I put skulls in it. I've wanted to do like blood techniques, and so that's where resin tint actually comes in really handy because it's very, again, thick. So it'll make like this blood effect in the water. I think that's probably the skulls are about as spooky as I've gotten, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could if you could put whatever you want in there, you could probably put some more spooky stuff, I guess. Yeah. I bought these on Etsy. I don't know what the technique would have been to make them, but they're like carved skulls.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the
We
technique
saw
would have
those
been.
at Decon, I think.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like resin, but it could be.
It probably is just a different type of resin, and then they used they might have cast it. They could have carved it. There's tons of people that do like stone, wood. Somebody I think has made them out of actual bone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
I've almost bought bone dice before. Cool. And I like the wood. I like wooden dice too. I want to get a set of wooden dice.
What kind of bone was it?
I think it was Mammoth was the one I was looking at. It was from I think they're called artisan dice, and it was stupid expensive, but it was like made out of mammoth
dice.
bone.
What if you get haunted by the ghost of a mammoth for like ever?
Win-win. I get to hang out with a mammoth, and I get cool dice.
Fair. Let's see. I think that was somebody else had a dice question, and I missed it, and I don't remember.
A long while back, someone asked if you would ever make a D100.
That's right.
No. That's 100 faces I have to finish. No, thank you. That's and also like would have to make it gigantic because already on the D20 the numbers are so tiny that if I mess something up I could lose an entire face. I can't. It would have to be the size of the 30 millimeter. It would have to be gigantic. And
when you model your masters, do you have to put the numbers on one by one, or are you able to like populate them across like each face?
I do them one by one. So I sit there and manually
so
make
definitely
sure
not a D100.
No thanks. Yeah, I don't even. I guess combined is that even? Am I even positioning 100 numbers between all the dice? I don't think so. I think total all the faces is still less than 100. So, and it takes me. So whenever I've done a couple of custom D20s and dice for people, and as probably people have seen, I like to redesign my dice every 3 months. And it takes me about 3 hours from start to finish. And keep in mind, I've already modeled the shapes, so this is 3 hours to make sure that the font's going to work. I also do font editing, so my current dice have a font that I've purchased a commercial license for and edited. And then I have to sit there and make sure that they're positioned and that they are going to. When I print them out, that they'll cast well, and so it's a very long process to make dice masters. So 100 does not sound fun to me. It sounds painful.
That sounds awful. I'm not a very patient man, so that would be terrible for me.
Fiona Batman has an interesting question. Can you make dice that's covered in felt? Could you make like flocked dice? Holy crap, that would be so funny. No
Friend dice.
I could.
roll them like twice, I guess.
I think the numbers would be difficult because I essentially would just have to coat a regular die in felt. I mean, I'm not saying no.
But just think about it.
And maybe the bigger one would probably be easier to cover.
Probably the bigger one would be a lot easier because I'm looking at this D20 right now and I'm like, I don't know about that.
What if you did like the bigger one and only put the felt in the numbers? That'd probably be even harder, to be honest. But
yeah, that would be much more difficult. Just gonna see me in the background. I'll be on a stream like, hey Steph, what are you doing? Why aren't you participating in chat? Oh, I'm just sitting here flocking a D20 for the next 5 hours.
But it would be epic.
I mean, yeah, it would be the greatest dice I've ever made, but also I might quit dice making
I
after
wouldn't
that.
wish that upon you.
I wonder how a felt die would roll.
Quietly.
Yep.
True. Very true.
I mean, beginning
Unless it's got
definitely
some of
might-
our DNA, then very, very loudly.
Actually, when I was trying to make the chunk dice, I wanted to actually put fur inside of it. Like
You should donate some of your fur, Chunk.
I have some everywhere.
It's summer. He's shedding his winter.
Yeah, it's
his
summer,
winter
so
coat.
now's the time.
Hardliner asked if you can make a D4 with the word Rupert on each side.
I will hunt you down.
It's your name. Get over it.
I don't like it. I regret the day I signed up for Facebook. They make you use your full name.
Most people do, I think.
You got away with Cucumber. I don't know what's wrong with you.
It wouldn't let me. It wanted a first and last name.
Shame.
How dare. Well, we still have a couple things to do. We did a lot of dice questions, so now we're going to go to D&D. We forgot to do But How Do You Feel today, so we might as well do that right now. Let's do our section, But How Do You Feel? Yeah. So today on But How Do You Feel, Hardliner suggested that we do Arnold Schwarzenegger movies because obviously. So we're going to describe how we're feeling today using Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I know we've already had an hour of talking before this, but which Arnold Schwarzenegger movie are you feeling like today?
I'm feeling like Jingle All the Way. Because I continue to see board games on Kickstarter, and I am both like the father and the child in this movie because I want the double man. I want the shiny toy, and I will punch a child's hero to get it.
I know you will.
Mhm.
I'm surprised that's all. What about
If
you?
there's an easier way.
Anyways, Chunk and Steph.
I'm still
Speaking of
thinking.
phallic symbols and dice.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
Oh, I was saying, I think I'm feeling a little kindergarten cop. I actually feel that way every day, to be honest. A lot of my day job involves kind of wrangling and having to be tough but tender with people. And so, yeah, I kind of feel like him at the beginning of kindergarten cop.
I like it. Chunk, you got one yet? You're still thinking?
I'm gonna say Batman and Robin
Okay.
Oh, that's right. He is in that.
because he's blue, slightly out of place, and cold.
And
But
cold.
not 'cause it's hot today. I
Yeah.
know, this is a hard question.
Your heart is cold.
Well, his plot is to turn hot Gotham City into a cold place.
There you go. Hot Gotham City. I want everything to be cold.
That's fair. It's true.
I don't like hot weather.
Same.
I think I'm feeling Kindergarten Cop too a little bit. Just more because he's like trying to keep chaos in order and figure out what he's doing, and that's how I feel right now in this mess. I'm just trying to do what I think I need to do amidst people yelling about stuff that I don't get all the time out in the world. So yeah, it's fun, and I got tested for COVID and it's negative, so I'm feeling that it's not a tumor.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's not a tumor. Ryan, what about you? What are you and your hair feeling today?
Just going by the title itself, End of Days.
Okay.
That escalated quickly.
Right on the
Going with
nose.
Commando.
Zelda.
You don't wear pants or underwear?
Correct. Yep, you got it. You got it.
We never see that far down, so.
No, I got my pants. See?
That's
And a
true.
little bony butt.
Oh, it is very bony. That's terrifying.
Don't let them sit on you. It's painful.
Oh my gosh, how did I never notice that?
Well,
Yeah.
don't like to share it, you know.
He doesn't really eat much. He just kind of drinks a lot.
That's not true. I eat plenty. I just can't digest food because I'm diseased, Dino.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, my bad. Zelda is feeling, I don't know what you're feeling, Terminator today. Just destroying everything.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, exactly. Now we do have a BuzzFeed quiz today for our segment, which is called, and Ryan's already getting the button ready. Let's let the internet tell us who we are.
Okay. Let's do that. Bottle papa you boom boom
You
boom.
missed your. I was going to say you missed your option.
I was looking at my phone. I'm sorry.
So today our BuzzFeed quiz is D&D related, which is also appropriate. It is which D&D class should you choose? So it's I guess it's not necessarily how you like to play, but it's about who you are. So Steph, do you have your own going? I know.
Yeah, I
you
have it open. We'll
Sweet.
see.
And then Chunk and Cucumber, you got yours?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And then Ryan got his and I got mine. Sweet. We got everybody going today. I love it. Great. So
Wait, I have a question.
yes.
Sure, Steph, have you been wearing headphones the whole time?
Yeah. She
Yeah, the whole time.
I don't
The
know.
whole time.
It looked weird to me just now. I was like, gosh. No, I don't think she's. I think she's wearing them all.
Literally the whole time.
You've been distracted by our matching hair. It's okay.
Yeah, that's it. I've been looking at your hair.
Yeah, you are very like company colors right now. We appreciate you putting in the effort before coming to chat.
I realized last night, I was like, oh gosh, I have cucumber and chunk hair. Like literally not on purpose, but
That's the right response to realizing that. Oh God, I have cucumber and chunk hair.
Make this a
Hair.
requirement for all future guests.
Yeah.
color coordinate. I'm down.
Color coordination. I love it. All right. So the first question is, what's your alignment? And it has all 9 up there: lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, and then all neutral, and then evil as well. I'm feeling neutral good, I think.
I think I'm chaotic good.
At the
Okay,
least.
tell me what I am then, Steph. I saw that. What am I? What am I?
I would say chaotic neutral, if anything.
I think I'm chaotic neutral. I always claim chaotic neutral. I'm not really sure.
I just feel like you're neutral evil most days.
Oh, that could work too. I could
But
see
I
that.
mean so well. All right, neutral evil.
I'm pretty sure that's what most neutral evil people say. I mean so well.
That's fair.
Oh shit.
What about you, Steph?
I actually repped my D&D alignment today. So
Nice. What about you, Ryan? Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I've been lawful good for most of my life.
yeah, I agree
I
with
see
that.
it. Which is so sad when you have to deal with a bunch of chaotic
I've accepted
forever.
it. I'm lawful
Lawful
good.
good, the himbo of the D&D classes.
Yeah. Oh man. So the next question is, what's your race? Dwarf, elf, halfling, human, dragonborn, gnome, half elf, half orc, or tiefling?
I'm gonna go with Dragonborn. Get that
I'm gonna go
Reshic
halfling.
love.
Yeah.
I'm going halfling not just because I'm a short man, but because they're the charisma and everything.
No,
I'm gonna go with dwarf.
Dwarf.
I usually play an Askmar, so
I know.
That's not a choice.
it's not choice. I guess human?
Question?
Meat
Mark?
bag.
Meatbag. There we go. We'll go with
Meatbag.
that.
What about you, Ryan?
Dragonborn as well.
Nice. All right. Next question is, what's your backstory? You've never trusted society, but now you've been thrust into a position of power. You regret not telling the love of your life how you felt, and now you strive to find them. You've got a question, and you've searched your whole life for the answer. You are sworn to fight for people who cannot fight for themselves. A possession you cherish was stolen from you. You're aiming to steal it back. Or your honor comes before anything else. You die defending it.
None of these are chunk or cucumber mood.
Yeah, no.
100%.
It's like,
not.
where's the I punch him in the solar plexus and take his wallet? That's That's me.
A possession you cherished was stolen from you, maybe?
Maybe.
That's the closest.
But I wouldn't be taking my wallet back. I'd be taking his wallet.
Well, anything you steal is now yours, so you're just.
That's a good
Moving
point. Everything
possession.
is mine. Thank you.
It's not. It's also not leaving out that you would be stealing his wallet. Technically, it's just saying you're stealing yours back, and then you can also take your wallet, his wallet.
I'm gonna go with you've got a question and you've searched your whole life for the answer.
I like it. I like it.
I need I'm just here to amuse myself.
I think that's you've got a
Yeah.
question.
I'm gonna go with the first one. I've never trusted society, but I'm thrust into a position of power.
I like it. I like it.
Because I had to pick up.
I don't feel much of these either. I'm stuck between sworn to fight for people who can't fight for themselves, but I don't feel like I sworn to that. I just like to do that when I can. And
I'm
then
gonna go with the last one.
your honor comes before anything else. You die defending it. I'm gonna go with the love. I'm feeling the love today.
You romantic, you.
Yeah, I've always been a hopeless romantic.
Same.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one I picked too.
Yeah. Which fantasy hero most inspires you? Frodo, Harry Potter, The Princess Bride, which is weird that they don't use her name. Jon Snow, Lucy Pevensey, or Hiccup.
I'm very.
First of all, fuck Frodo. Put Samwise on there.
Right?
And what did he do other than whine the whole time?
Yeah, I mean,
oh, my neck, it's so heavy. And then I get there, nah.
Is Lucy from the wardrobe? A Witch in the Wardrobe?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah,
The
that thing,
Yep, she's
that
from
thing.
the wardrobe. Fair
I'm gonna go with Hiccup.
Hiccup's pretty dope.
Yeah.
yeah, I like Hiccup because he's like overcoming adversity and despite all the people like making fun of him, he comes out on top and changes how
missing a
people
foot.
thinks.
He's missing a foot.
He's missing a
Yeah.
foot.
Like out of all these people, like they're not really inspiring except for Hiccup. Everyone else is just like, they were characters.
Jon Snow was a pretty solid leader.
Yeah.
Good middle. Okay, Steph.
These are the faces you never get to see when I'm in chat.
Yeah, now I know. Every time I open my mouth. No, I mean, come on. He rounded up the wildlings. He got respect in the wall. Well, until he didn't. And then,
And then
You also whined a lot. There's a lot of whiners in this list.
Right.
true.
I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of
Buttercup is also a super whiner. Like, she's not the strongest character.
Zelda agrees.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hiccup as well because everybody else is kind of a brat.
Yeah, I was thinking Frodo, just because it was like something he didn't ask for and he has to do, and he still goes through it, and he has like all his friends like to get him through it, and that's how I feel. Like I always have friends helping me through whatever I need to do, despite my whining. But I think I like Hiccup better too.
even doing here, Sam? We've seen this rock before. Anyway,
Somebody needs to give a whining Frodo impression for Cucumber on Friday night. Let's do all whining voices. Whining Frodo,
Writing that
whining
down.
Luke. Are you ready here, Steps? I'm so excited for tomorrow.
God, that is tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh my God.
those are really small post-its.
Well,
I mean-
Oh, you have really big hands.
gigantic can.
Yeah, you're like JPG. Do you have like these just like ham mitts or?
No, actually, it's because I use these to track what dice I need to make. So in my very complicated dice making system, they fit on my monitor.
I like to think in the wall that we can't see. It's just floor to ceiling post-its, like various colors, lots of thumbtacks and string tying them all together.
It was.
Zelda,
No.
calm down. Sorry.
I actually picked Lucy Pevensey because she's the sibling that actually tries to keep everything together. I do like Hiccup, but
I like that.
Lucy's the best. People just needed to fucking listen to Lucy, and there would have been no problems.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
If only. But that wouldn't have made a good story.
Great. Fuck Edmund. Let him die.
Fuck Edmund. I mean, it would have been a good story, but they want drama. Let's see. If you could snap your fingers and make anything appear, what would it be? A pile of gold, a litter of adorable kittens, a whole keg of ale, a group of scantily clad men or women who just want to please you, or both. Why
Why
not?
or? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Some goddamn peace and quiet.
Well,
More food than one person should eat.
So many
I'm
good
gonna go
choices.
shit.
pile of gold because I could buy all the other things with my pile of gold.
But then you have to like go through the exchange of getting it converted to like currency and
Gold is currency.
but no,
It's
like
D&D,
Gold is
right?
gold.
oh D&D. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, this is D&D specifically.
But also gold is gold.
And gold is gold.
Then you have to carry it around.
Yeah.
So that,
I
Oh,
think,
you
I think
put
this
it
would
in
be
the
real life.
bank. What is money? Still functions like money.
Actually,
Got
gold
one
is probably better
ingot,
than-
please. Oh
Excuse me.
shit! I'm stuck between the bottom three, really.
I could really use a lot of gold right now. That's the thing.
yeah.
Not that's what I care about, but I could really use a lot of gold right now.
Yeah. I think I've had a little too much goddamn peace and quiet over the last 5 or 6 months. So normally that would be my go-to, but I'm good. I think more food. No,
Just go with the honest one and pick your hair.
let's do it. Scantily clad, everybody.
Everybody. Look at that. Everybody. I love it. Ryan's already beat you to it.
Did Ryan take a pile of cats?
No, he's scantily clad. That's what I meant.
Cats.
Cats. You're going with cats? Mm-hmm. Nice.
Who doesn't?
I like that
A
the picture
monster.
has a monster.
I don't. I'm a monster.
That's fair. That's very fair. I'm gonna pick gold.
I shed enough. I don't need a cat.
If you had to fight someone, how would you go about it? Curl up and cower until they left, throw a huge punch and miss wildly, try to talk your way out of it, turn and run, rain a torrent of fists and kicks upon them, reach for the nearest thing to use as a weapon and pummel them.
Bottom one.
I would talk my way out of it, knowing me.
I would bash them into submission and then talk about it.
Do we bang 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 bang? Do you really want to fight? Can we just like let's separate our differences now?
That makes me think of the scene from Robin Hood Men in Tights when Sheriff of Rottingham challenges him to a duel and he takes the medal and just goes, "I accept." Like that's that mood.
100%.
Oh, I love that movie.
I'm gonna avoid conflict and turn and run.
Turn and run.
My face is too pretty.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to risk it.
Ryan, what about you?
I said try to talk your way out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was
Topple
like
your way out of
a
it?
shoot from a distance, that would be
Right.
me. But there's not. So
Shoot and hide.
turn and run, and then maybe from a distance.
Yeah, that would be like the roguey way. Like slash slash
There you go.
Sounds like a sandwich.
roguey way.
The roguey way.
And if you were a druid, what would your wild form be? Brown bear, wolf, owl, snake, deer, warthog.
Little piggy. Little
Warthog.
piggy.
It's so random.
I know.
Owl. Gotta fly.
Yeah,
Shoot.
same. I would pick owl. I want to fly.
I get tusks. I can stab people's ankles.
I like that. Turn your head all the way around. Almost.
Almost.
I think this is the last question. No, 2 more. I pass it. A massive bloodthirsty bat swoops toward you. You reach out for the weapon on your belt. What do you grab? Your mighty greatsword, 2 daggers dripping with poison, something clobbery like a mace, your tome of offensive magic spells, your trusty short bow, or your lute. This occasion calls for some music.
Turbo.
I like offensive things, but I'm not much of a magic user, so I would go with something clobbery like a mace, preferably a warhammer.
Nice. I got the lute because I'm always a bard. Not always, but I like my bard.
This is the problem with the whole offensive magic one, because it's literally, I mean, just picture this. It's like, oh, wait 1 second, let me get my book out to figure out what I'm going to use on you. Like, you're dead. I feel like this is an impractical choice. Like, at least,
Well, it's
That's
like a cabinet battle. Like you're just like, you're spouting off against another wizard, just going back and forth, taking turns, like a wizard duel, like Madam Mim and Merlin.
or like a rap battle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
I just a wizard rap battle. That'd be great.
That would be fun to see.
Make it happen.
Oh man, we'll figure it out next week.
We have to
on-
ask Lin-Manuel Miranda to write our magical spells, and then we'll.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
The spells are the raps. I like it. Oh
Yeah,
man,
you
these are
know-
good ideas.
You only succeed in the spells if you manage to get the whole rap off.
Right.
So,
Oh man.
I like it. And on beat. All right.
Man.
Nothing.
Chunks out. Okay.
Last question. Which of these character flaws will be your undoing? You rely too heavily on your faith. You can't get enough drink, drug, or other intoxicants. The easy answer is never good enough for you. You keep secrets too well. You don't share them with anyone. I don't know how that'll be your downfall. If you had to choose between gold and relationships, you'd always choose gold. You are a coward who turns and runs at the first sign of conflict, Chunk.
Hey, there it is, Chunk.
Okay. I'm gonna go with that one.
these should have been the life mottos that we had at the beginning, because then I would have chose, if you had to choose between gold and relationships, always choose gold.
Oh, yeah.
People die, gold is forever.
People die. Gold is forever.
I'm gonna say the easy answer is never good enough because I always want like the details.
That's fair.
Information.
Oh man, I guess I want to say rely too heavy on your faith, but it's not my faith in like religion, but like my faith in people. Like I trust people so much that like I'll trust them even though they may be bad for me.
You fool!
Exactly. That's why it'll be my downfall. Cool. What about you, Ryan? What'd you choose?
I chose. The easy answer is never good enough.
Oh, nice. I just got cut by my cat. That's great.
Get a dog.
I wish I could in this apartment.
Steph now has her own command in the chat.
God, no.
Yay!
Yay! People die, gold is forever.
The things you get remembered for.
I love it.
I don't believe in moral quandaries. There's no moral quandary, only gold.
All right. What'd y'all get?
Got monk.
I'm a bard.
Me too.
Yes, those monks are cool because in the official D&D rulebook, their fists are classified as weapons. Pretty baller. Monks are either sneak ninjas who strike from darkness and disappear into shadows, or they can control the elements like something out of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Either option is awesome. I win.
You win.
I'm a bender. I'm a bender.
I got Ranger. Says, look at you. You're a regular Katniss Everdeen, except more racist. Rangers have something called favored enemies, which essentially means there's one race they love killing more than other races. You can also have a pet, which you can imprint on and become a furry little bloodthirsty bigot.
Wow.
Jesus. Wow. They're really coming for Rangers. Whoever wrote this just really doesn't like Rangers, apparently. Oh my God. What'd you get, Steph?
I got fighter, unsurprisingly. A fighter does exactly what it says on the tin. They fight.
Is that all it says?
Well, and it says, unlike barbarians, they come equipped with more than just a loincloth. They're less shouty and more insightful. Fighters are the things that get in the way of enemy attacks so that magic users, meat shield, can actually survive long enough to be useful. Which is back to my point about the book of, hold on a second while I open my Tome of Secrets.
Yeah.
Very Fizzban.
Oh, hey, Asian Bruce Willis. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we got Ryan and I got Bard. Bard says Bards are a support class, which means they do a lot of things, but they don't do a lot of things very well. Me. That's very true. Bards are best known for their musical abilities, which, despite how it sounds, is actually pretty helpful when push comes to shove. There's something about a pounding beat that really amps up a battle. That's all it says. Yeah.
Gob should be like a beatboxing bard.
Do it.
He should just be distinguishably a bard because up until this moment,
Literally, we were discussing earlier that Cucumber was saying that he should learn how to play a bard since he's been playing one. Everybody else is like, wait, you're a bard?
I totally thought that
Yeah.
like some fighter
Gob's a
magic
bard.
user light.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Like
bardy
drill?
things you could do. And even just use like describing how you do the magic with music and stuff would be enough.
That's true.
Because technically the art was what you're casting with. Right? Yeah.
Oh,
Like the lute,
think
your
so.
lute or whatever your instrument you have, or singing or dancing, that's your magic skill. That's where it's coming from.
Good point. Good point.
Has there
good
been a
point.
bard that's a mime?
Oh my god, that would be amazing. It would be terrible for roleplay.
Need a mime
Or
bard.
would it?
Oh, true.
It would be great. Terrible for a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but like, and then some of his spells, like he could put up a wall and just be like,
It would just straight up be Mr. Mime.
It would be Mr. Mime, which
That'd be
is
so great.
the best part of that movie. So
It would be great for anybody who doesn't is nervous about talking in a group, doesn't like being social. Just be a mime bard. Done. You never have to talk, except you do have to say what you want to do, but that's about it.
or you could do a game of gestures with the DM and be like,
Sounds like movie.
Every round of combat will take like 4 minutes.
that's how long the rounds of combat on Perception Studio take anyways. So
That's fair. I feel
Round
like that's a
more
bad.
like turn, but yes.
That's what I meant.
which is the part of the joy and the allure of it is just what happens in between the rounds.
How little D&D actually happens, and just
Did
messing
pretty
around.
good last night.
You did? I wasn't able.
We got out of the cave. Took us weeks.
If you just mimed it, you could have been done in 5 seconds.
Yeah, you have a hand. I don't know what that is.
So
We'll
say
workshop
we go, but workshop. We'll do a focus group. Can we get a focus group together?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I would suggest. I think we're already going for an hour and a half. So, I think I was going to do Dr. Know-It-All, but I feel like it would take too long unless we want to. But if you want to do a couple rounds, how do you guys feel?
Man, I'm down to go answer a couple of Dr. Know-It-All
Yeah,
questions.
I'm down.
Cool. So for those of you that don't know, let's do welcome Dr. Know-It-All to the screen. Yay! Transition of music.
Did anything
Glad you got
change? Are we still the same places?
What do you mean?
Nothing. All right,
Okay.
so it's gonna go Chunk, Steph, me.
Yes. Chunk, Steph, you. And let's, I'm going to throw Ryan in there too, because we're only going to do a few of them and it'll be more fun. So it'll be Chunk, Steph, Cucumber, Ryan, and then Chunk, you're always after Ryan.
It's gonna get. I'm always at. Oh, jeez. Okay.
you already made him
Count
fail.
to
Sir.
4.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who we start with.
It's a bad attention day, just so you know.
No, after Ryan. Just go after Ryan. Just
When
go
you
after
hear Ryan's
Ryan.
hair talk.
And also go first.
And also, yes, that's important too. For those of you that don't know, Dr. Know-It-All is our lovely multi-headed expert. Today, he, she, it has, Dr. Know-It-All has 3 heads and 1 hair piece, I guess, because we don't have a whole head.
Wow.
I don't know. It's a piece of hair. That's all. I didn't know how to say that. Oh no, we have a whole head. Yay, we have half of Ryan's head. Great. So 4 heads.
He's like the guy from Tim the Tool Man,
Yeah.
Wilson, the neighbor.
Wilson.
Wilson.
I love it. Did you see people have made like face masks with a fence on it? So it looks like looking over the fence and they had everything. It's really funny.
He would do that when he would come out at the end of the show when they would like do the bows for the audience. He'd walk out there with a little fence in front of his face.
Oh,
That's so
great.
cool.
Yeah, he only took it down for the very last episode.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. Well, cool.
Why do we all watch so much Home Improvement? That was weird.
I did see Tim Allen do stand up at the Ice House in Pasadena. That was fun. He is much more inappropriate.
I bet.
You talk a lot about cocaine.
Well, you would know.
Yes. So anyways, Dr. Know-It-All is our four-headed expert who will answer your questions for advice or otherwise, one head at a time, one word at a time, and hopefully come up with a coherent answer. Dr. Know-It-All, in order for our sanity, will try to repeat some of the question or at least include it in the answer so that we know what Dr. Know-It-All is talking about. So we have a couple questions already. Once again, it's Chunk, Steph, Cucumber, Ryan, then back to Chunk. Right?
Yes.
Cool. Got it. Dr. Know-It-All, Kairos wants to know, what should Kairos do for their birthday?
4.
Steph.
You're such a Steph.
Steph, you're always
Your
yeah.
I'm not the problem.
Yeah.
Chunk Steph, me, Ryan. Chunk Steph, me, Ryan.
So for your
Birthday,
you,
Should.
eat
nothing.
but
Blank.
What?
blank.
Blank.
Oh,
Mad Libs now.
Yeah, am I filling this in?
usually nothing
Ice
but blank.
cream. Can that count? Because it's technically 2 words.
that's fine.
That's fine.
We never follow the rules here anyway.
Okay, good.
Ice cream with
Toppings.
That.
Contain.
antlers.
And
Really?
Poorly.
Constructed.
wishes.
Wishes?
Damn, that got dark.
Okay, that's terrible.
Oh yeah, we bow when we're done
That's
with
right.
our answer.
Dr. Know-It-All bows at the end of his
Yeah.
advice. Thank you, Dr. Know-It-All.
That's our bailout.
That was a very artsy answer, very abstract. Eating ice cream with poorly constructed wishes.
Bot alert, kill it. Thank you, Chunk.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh wow, good job.
Well, I'm gonna save this
I
thing
didn't
because I
even
want to
notice
be famous.
Let's see, that was birthday, and then okay. Weird Judge says, Dr. Know-It-All, my paladin is tired of being a goody-goody two-shoes. How can I play something lawful good that is doing chaotic evil things only?
In.
Order.
2.
Play.
A.
Terrible.
Paladin.
You.
Should.
Sprint.
2.
The.
Murder.
House.
And
Become.
A.
Murder.
person.
That's it? Okay.
I'll go to the murder house. Become a murder person.
Become a murder person.
Didn't look like Ryan was gonna pick it up. Fucking-
Just immediately.
This is a lot harder on the other side.
Yeah.
You mean the set
Welcome
does
to the
nothing
show.
normally?
Yeah. It's easier to troll than a victim of it.
Ain't that the truth?
That's true. Now you know the tension between Chunk or Ryan trying to force the bow. It's always one of them where they're like, let's see. Turf asks, Dr. Know-It-All, what do I do about my excessive thirst?
Boy.
That could go two ways.
Or
Or? Is that what you
Four.
said?
Four.
Okay. Four. Tempered.
Attention.
You.
should.
Exercise.
Thirst.
Quenching.
Activities.
Such as.
That's one word now. It's fine.
Instagramming.
Yeah, totally.
Your.
Meals.
Like.
And
Meat.
People.
Gouda and meat people.
I totally heard
was
meat
like-
as an MEET, and I was just like, meat people.
You and I were leaning into thirst traps, and they were just talking actual thirst.
Yeah, they kept
Yeah.
they kept blocking us trying to make that bad.
You thirst blockers, you.
That can still work. Meat people.
Gouda and meat people. That's how I meet people. It's cheese.
Yeah. Did we finish? Was there a bow?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, just not at
Okay.
the same time because we're so in sync right now.
So in sync.
Good job. John.
Asian Bruce Willis says, Dear Dr. Know-It-All, I always play thieves in D&D. What are other classes that are similar to thieves that I can try out?
If
You
Want
two,
play
a
character
you
should
attempt
to
create
a
bard
which
will
bring
such
grace
and
power
except
in
dungeons
and
any
particularly
useful.
directions.
we almost
Thank you.
got it. I'm just gonna bring my head down.
The chat needs to understand that the bow is pain. That's what it is.
It's not supposed to be.
It's not.
But
It's supposed
it
to be
is.
victory, but in our show,
Yeah.
the bow is,
Yeah.
oh God,
is never
let it be over. Oh, I love it. Zelda agrees. Where am I at? Oh, Turf asks again, Dr. Know-It-All, how do I steal that bow from the ranger?
To
effectively
Steal
That
bow
give
the
ranger
some
body
to
love.
fuck you, Chunk. All right, fine.
Wow. Gave up on that.
Is there more?
Could have been. That was the best one we ever did.
Yeah, I wanted to wrap it up before it got worse. Before it got apart.
I guess that's fair. I can't knock you on that one.
I wanted to have a victory. You got
that
the
was-
whole sentence.
The whole sentence. Everybody did one word and it didn't stop. It was great.
Yeah.
such as is one word if you say it fast enough.
So chess.
If you say, I like that logic. If you say it fast enough, it's one word. That's like when you have like a word count on a paper, and you just try to separate words that are supposed to be together and hyphenated and things, and you just like make different things and like add words that don't exist. But it's the opposite. You try to combine everything, and you have a word limit.
That's a lot of work to just not obey the word limit.
Yeah, that's fair. When you're in middle school and you're trying to get to 1,000 words, and you're like, I don't think I know 1,000 words.
3 pages, triple spaced.
Yeah.
Just add the
use-
E before everything.
Yeah, I'd always make it like size 12.5, so it'd be just like slightly bigger, and in my head it made it better to get through all the pages. I don't know.
If you like searched all the periods and commas and you made them one font up, it would make the page like it would add like half a page to your paper.
What?
Uh-huh.
Did not know that.
And then your teacher wouldn't know that the font was bigger because it would only be the periods and commas.
What was your D&D alignment again?
Chaotic neutral.
That makes sense.
Checks out.
You're welcome.
Where are we at? Legends DM says, Dr. Know-It-All, how bad does the bowing hurt?
Bowing?
Bowing. That's what. Thank you for
Bowing.
making sense of that. I was like confused. How bad does the bowing hurt when you bow?
Bowing.
Really?
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 Sucks.
Like,
So
Much.
You wouldn't. Ah, that's 2 words. It's a fun fact. I have a bachelor's degree in English.
Well, that's why you want to use so many words.
I do. I just want to fill up the air with words. Yeah, this is going well. You
wouldn't.
believe
The
pain
Inflicted.
upon
our
noggins
And
our
insides.
and
our.
toes.
Blech.
He's done. That was the end for Cucumber. One of Dr. Know-It-All's heads did a mutiny on the rest and just left it.
it's like a
I will
hydra
cut
eating
myself
itself.
free.
Yeah, just a pop. Nope. Pop. 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 Oh man, we got a lot of questions for Dr. Know-It-All today. That's great. Beard on a Batman says, Dr. Know-It-All, did Steph purposely color her hair to match Chunk to be close to him?
Steph.
Really.
Hates.
Chunk.
And
Oh no, it wasn't Chunk this time.
She's just turning into him. Just hop in whenever.
It's the curse that's taking over. I think that's what it is. It
oh,
wasn't
I'm
on
having too
purpose.
much fun and I'm so excited.
I haven't messed up once.
Good job.
I'm here to take that energy from you.
Chunk. So Chunk really hates, or no, Steph really hates Chunk. That's where we're at.
And or no.
Chunkster.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you're good.
Steph really hates Chunk. And
Chunk.
Abhors.
Choose your next words wisely, Leonidas, for they may be your last. You can see the lawful good falling over his face right now.
Yeah.
Abhors any
body.
Anybody, like not anybody, but anybody.
Oh, are we bowing? I saw one of the heads go.
No, I was
No, he was
laughing.
laughing.
sorry.
Who?
Dares.
try
To
Pontificate.
Regarding.
his
what?
his
Oh, his large
Cranium.
Good work, everybody. Good work.
Well done. We did it. We did it.
God, I love the bow so much.
Hey, Cave Geek Art. How's it going, bud?
Hey!
Hey, how's it going?
We met him at
welcome.
our very first Twitchy Con.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome to the craziness. Let's see, where are we at? Yeah, if you have any questions for Dr. Know-It-All, KB Geekart, let us know. We're giving out advice for free. And
That's
losing
not a,
our...
that's not a can you want to open. Mm-mm.
No, we'll see.
Yeah, ask now before we start charging for the advice.
right.
That's true. And we give we give up our dignity for free. Let's see, where are we at? I missed a bunch of it. Okay, here we go. Asian Brazil says, Dr. Know-It-All, my character Lando Dragontoe, great name, a gnome thief. I'll have to undo it. Loves
Thanks for the
Ruffles.
follow.
What?
Sorry. Thanks for the
thanks for the follow.
Amani
yeah.
McGill.
Thank you. A gnome thief loves brothels. How can he prevent STDs? I think
Preventing?
There we go.
Problematic.
Venereal.
Diseases.
Is
Oh, I'm gonna be sick. That word just induces vomit. What was the previous word?
Preventing.
Is, I believe.
But yeah, preventing. Oh my god.
preventing venereal disease is
Possible.
Only.
If
you
Give.
Your.
best
judgment
And.
Keep.
protected.
with
Plastic.
Dividers.
Oh, that's a good recovery. Oh my gosh.
Between
your
Sheets.
What?
What am I supposed to say?
And many more. You say cheeks?
Sheets.
sheets.
Oh! I thought you said cheeks. I thought you put the divider in between your cheeks. Oh shit. Okay,
I
never
guess that would work. Maybe.
broke that one.
Yeah, take it back.
Okay. We'll finish. And
Always
Place
Hands.
where
you
want
Them.
consent.
Consent. Great advice on how to prevent how to prevent STDs. Thank you, Dr. Know-It-All.
you're welcome.
I'm like, I keep crying. I'm laughing so hard.
Me too, for other reasons. Let's see. Where I'm losing myself because the chat keeps moving without when I'm not looking at it. Oh, there it is. Oh no, I lied. It's not a question. There we go. Turf has a question. Dr. Know-It-All, how do I show my love for my wizard's spellbook?
I'm being trolled. To protect.
Your
spell book. Was it?
Spellbook could be one word, I think, right?
You
Gather.
all
Your
love
And.
all
your
might
And.
all
your
knowledge
So.
that
you
may
Toss.
the
book
through
A.
glass
window.
because
You.
no
Exactly.
what
To.
do
With
it
Yay, stuff got through the sheet about. Now you know how it feels that moment. You're like, I think I want to end
Cody
it.
V Sharp, thank you for the donation.
Oh
thank you.
no.
oh no.
That's
know
my
this, Sharp?
partner. Yeah.
Hi.
You go for Steph.
Thank you. Oh no. I like how your response was oh no.
Oh no, Vincey's watching.
Beard on the Batman says, Dr. Know-It-All. We'll have this be the last question for the day. So Dr. Know-It-All.
Suffering.
Yeah, and the suffering. What was the fart holder doing in the corner during last night's cave orgy?
A spoiler, guys. I haven't seen last night's episode.
It
no.
wasn't an orgy, you guys. Everybody, you guys gotta look up some words sometimes.
Maybe if you haven't been a part of one, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. So go.
But anywho,
The
Fart.
holder
Trying to do the one word thing.
watching
Pieces.
of
The
genitalia.
Plastic.
sheets
writhe
In
The
misery
and
the
pain.
of
life.
because
ig-
Ryan.
is
Very
Here's your chance.
Barry.
yeah.
An opening.
Oh no.
Sad.
With
lots
of
Pain.
but
also
is
Never.
gonna
figure
really 3 rounds to lift yourself up, and that's what you landed on.
watching Steph judge everybody's words has been the highlight of today's game for me. So,
I love how
are you
she
sure?
called you out.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I know it's probably not how this is supposed to work. I apologize.
I love it. No, it's great. I like that you judge him for 3 rounds to build yourself up. And this show is not about building anybody up. Let's be
And
honest.
I took it easy on Ryan.
It's true. The only people we build up on the show are our special guests. So thank you, Steph.
Aw.
Everybody, the people that are regularly part of the show, we shit on regularly. So
I tried, Ryan. I did.
we had one question in. I think right as I said, we were going to do one more question. So I'll get that one out, but that'll be the last one because Asia Bruce Willis threw it in there right at the end, and I think I like it. This is going to be a good advice to end the day on because it's something that we all go through all the time. Dr. Know-It-All, Asian Bruce Willis wants to know, how can I prevent chafing when I wear chainmail?
Preventing
Chafing.
Well,
wearing
chain mail.
Bikinis.
can
be
Done.
With
gobs
of
Goose.
oh no. Feathers.
and
abundant
Amounts.
Of
cod
fish.
Oil.
we got there. We did it.
but
If
You
Use
a
expired
brand
of
lube.
You
Will.
Experience.
Discomfort.
rashes
Galore.
4,
Up.
2
3.
2,
10.
Years.
of
Bad.
juju. Thank you. Hey, thanks for the tip, Cave Geek Art.
Oh, thank you. We don't often get donations on the show, so thank you very much. That's very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Know-It-All, for your lovely advice. Bear Hermit, Panda Fu, welcome, and welcome to the craziness. I know you have no introduction to what we're doing, but you just witnessed Dr. Know-It-All.
There's
But,
some. I've been here before.
Is it new sub?
No, 2 months.
Oh, great. Wonderful. But I meant for this show specifically that you have no introduction to the show, but this episode, besides that last bit of
You don't need an
advice.
introduction. Plastic venereal sheets.
Venereal sheets.
That's my actual legacy.
Oh my gosh.
That was not an invitation, hardliner.
And that's the command. Great. It's gonna be great. Thank you, Dr. Know-It-All. Well, yeah, I feel like that's a good spot to, after a 2-hour show. I think this is the longest show we've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sure
It's been
like it this last part.
I'm sorry.
Sure felt like it this last part.
Wow.
Wow.
The pain of Dr. Know-It-All for us. Now you understand, Steph. That
It's much more enjoyable on the other side, that's for sure.
It is a marathon on our end. It's the worst relay race ever.
I will say though, like
How do you really feel, Dino? Shit.
I've been part of it. I understand. It's just you're like waiting and like it's not on other people, it's on you. You're like, shit, like I got it. And then at the very end, like it's like getting to the rope at the end, and you're like, do we cross it? Are we yeah, okay?
I feel more like it's like bungee jumping. Nobody wants to do it, and then somebody shoves you off the cliff.
That's fair. I like that.
That is kind of the definition of all of our shows, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of commands from Hardliner. Thank you. So thank you for joining us, Steph. Remind people again where they can find your dice work.
Yeah. So Sharp Steph, which is my name just about everywhere. If you want to look at some that I made in the past, you can look at my website or you can look on Twitter. Fair warning, I don't post about dice 100% of the time. I also post horrible hot takes. So those happen. You can also see some other makers that I like to share there as well.
And of course, you'll see Steph in our chat when with our shows and stuff. So make sure to say hello. Tomorrow we have Roll for Initiative at 2. With what are we doing tomorrow? What are you guys doing tomorrow?
Who is the best Doctor Who babysitter? Which of the Doctor Whos would be the best babysitter to have?
Oh, that makes more sense than the first time you said that.
it
Okay.
did, yeah. My
Yeah.
sentence fixed itself after. Yeah. It's usually how my sentences go.
That's on brand.
Yep, absolutely.
But tonight, late tonight, we're going to be doing a charity stream at 8 p.m. with our friends from Team Durpin. That's Catherine and Stephanie Andrea, as well as Laura. And then some of us will be hanging out. We're going to be playing Overcooked 2, raising some money for Lebanon.
Oh, that's great.
Come and hang out.
Make sure to tune in at 8 o'clock Pacific. And tomorrow at 7:30 p.m., of course, will be Trash to Beast Theater. Stay tuned so we can see the lovely accent that Steph is going to have to do that she wrote a note for. What was it again?
Whining Frodo impressions.
That's right, whining Frodo impression.
We've been here before.
Can't
But
wait.
you have to do it whining Frodo impressions in the voice of Optimus Prime.
Oh God.
You're welcome, Dino.
I don't know how to do
Better
that.
practice
I'll
that.
try. Why?
Got
Optimus
a whole
playing
24 hours to prepare.
Oh, I'm gonna be practicing.
Yeah, you've had a warning now. You got
I
it.
do.
Perfect.
Oh man, no, I'm never perfect. Even Optimus.
You're
But
perfect in our hearts.
oh, I'm kidding. That was very sweet.
Venereal.
Ugh, I hate that word.
And toes.
Blech.
There you go. I had to get you two.
We should get a little lower third for Dino that says Dino, venereal host.
I hate this. I hate this.
I'm gonna work on it. I'll send it to you, Ryan, for next week.
Such a happy place before. Now it's just ruined.
And then for under Chunk will be Cookie Monster, and then under Cucumber will be Foot Lover.
Yes, okay.
Toe sucker.
Toe Sucker, I like that
Fuck
one.
that. No. Gross. Out. Bye.
Career toe sucker.
And then
I'll
Steph,
see y'all later. Fuck off.
if you're ever on again, Steph will have plastic venereal sheets under you.
People die, gold is forever.
Oh, that's right. People die, gold is forever.
Yep.
I love it's a good motto.
Good that Batman just did it. That's amazing.
Yes. Welcome. Well, thanks for joining. I didn't say welcome. Thanks again for joining us. My brain is all
God, we're starting over. We're trapped in a loop. Red button. Red button.
it's Groundhog Day. Good morning, campers. But yeah, so thanks for joining us. Stay tuned tonight at 8 o'clock for the charity stream. Is that going to be hosted through Perception also, or?
Yeah, that'll be here.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. We're
Okay,
figuring
great.
out details. We'll be able to post a lot more in a little bit. We actually just got a message from them, so we gotta.
Oh,
We're
awesome.
gonna-
So,
Raid our friend Grandudius.
yeah, Grandudius. So stay tuned.
Kindest man on Twitch. Go say hi to him. He's so
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Stay on. We're gonna raid him, and then stay tuned tonight, and then tomorrow for both shows. And thanks again, Steph, for joining us, and Cucumber Junk. But thanks again. Thanks for joining us, folks, in the chat. Make sure to join our Discord if you want to be part of more of the fun and give us questions ahead of time and chat with us about all our shows. And yeah, we'll see you next time on Chat Time.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day.
And we're out.
Bye.